If you're over 40 and you are doing all of the things that you've done in your 20s, maybe even into your 30s that are no longer working in your 40s, they're no longer working in your 50s, this video is for you. I want to share with you the things that I have figured out about the boring basics. I like to call them the boring basics. These are the things that I think still work for us as we're getting into our 40s, 50s, into midlife. We want to build strong, healthy bodies, training for our 70, 80, 90-year-old bad self, maybe even into our hundreds. And I want to share with you why I think the boring basics still work and just what are the boring basics. My name is Heather. Welcome back to my channel. I make videos about yoga and fitness for those of us in midlife who are trying to build strong, healthy bodies so that we can continue doing the things that we love to do well into our 70s, 80s, 90s, and maybe even our 100s. So I want to share with you a framework that I put together. It's called the balance framework. And this is the idea that I say this frequently, that the boring basics still work. If you do these things consistently over a long period of time, they're going to work. First, what I'm going to do is tell you, though, what the balance framework is not. The balance framework is not sexy. It does not sell very well on social media. This is not something that you're going to do over the next 2 weeks or 30 days or try to get in shape real quick for a vacation. This is something, these are 7 different pillars that you can follow over years and even decades to build a strong, healthy body to support you in the things that you want to continue doing, whether it is hiking, maybe you like to ski, maybe you want to play with your grandkid, maybe you just want to be a 90-year-old baddie someday. These are the things that are going to get you there. So this right here is the balance framework. This is something that I put together. I'm a teacher. This is what we do. We put together frameworks, methods, systems, things like this to make it easy for you to remember the things, okay? So when I talk about the boring basics, this is what I'm talking about, is these 7 different pillars that I have in the balance framework. So each letter in the word balance stands for a term. So let's go through what those terms are. I would like to preface this with that this is the first video in a series of videos where we're going to talk about each one of the 7 different pillars in much more detail. Today's video is intended to introduce you to the balance framework, aka the boring basics. The letter B is to build strength through movement. So this is adding in different types of strength training activities throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your month, depending on what season of life you're in. And this is not saying you have to lift weights 5 days a week. If you're not in a season of life where you can lift weights 5 days a week, or maybe your goals don't align with lifting weights 5 days a week, that's totally okay. You might be in a season of life where you can get into strength training sessions at 15 minutes each per week. That's great, okay? So it's understanding that you are doing some sort of movement throughout the week, whatever it may be, to build strength. The first letter A is to get adequate hydration, and hydration affects so much in our bodies, so much in our focus, so much in our minds. And sometimes when that hydration level isn't there, we can mistake it for other things. You might be feeling like, why am I so tired? Why am I so unmotivated? Why am I so undisciplined? I feel like I just need more motivation. Maybe you just need a little bit more water. And so A is paying attention to your hydration levels, how much water you're drinking throughout your day. L is to lower your stress levels. Easier said than done. I know this. I'm aware of this. The goal here is not to completely eliminate your stress, but it's to do things to regulate your nervous system and to help bring down some of your stress levels, because some of us, we're constantly in this constant state of overstimulation. We're on our phones, we're on computers, we're getting pinged all day, Slack's going crazy, and we're constantly being overstimulated. And we want to make sure that we're spending some time lowering our stress levels. It might be through going for a walk. It might be through spending some time outside, doing some deep breath work, taking 5 minutes, just closing your eyes and breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. It could be something as simple as that. So L is to lower your stress levels. The second A is adequate sleep and recovery. And I know if you are a 40-something, 50-something woman, you're in perimenopause, I know that sleep can be this sort of elusive thing that we don't get. But paying attention to your sleep, paying attention to your recovery. So if sleep is going to be getting to bed at a decent time every night. When people ask me, how do you get up so early to go to the gym. Well, I have to go to bed early. Getting to bed at the same time or close to the same time every night, getting up at the same time every morning or close to the same time every morning. If you are experiencing that 2 a.m., 3 a.m. wake up call, maybe it's just you're awake, but you don't necessarily get up out of bed. You're not scrolling your phone, you're resting, you're relaxing, listening to some music, maybe a meditation, something like this. But then also the recovery aspect of it. It's very easy when you start a new workout program, start a new workout plan. Might be your New Year's resolution, and you're like, go, 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 go hard. And 2 weeks goes by, and then you're like, I need a rest day. But then one rest day turns into 8 rest days, which turns into 3 months. And that's not what we're trying to shoot for here. It's understanding that rest and recovery is part of the plan. So we're not going to go hard for 2 weeks and then completely burn yourself out. It's planning, building in rest and recovery days into the program, understanding that's just part of the plan. You're going to take a rest day, you're going to take a recovery day, and you don't need to go hard every single day. N is to nourish your body and mind. I cram a lot into that letter N there because it encompasses a lot. But when we talk about nourishing your body, it's eating enough to support your goals, to support what it is that you want to do, eating enough protein, eating whole foods. I like to talk about the 80-20 rule here, which is 80% of what you eat is protein and whole foods and things to support your health and wellness and fitness goals. And then 20% of the time is, you know what? I want to have a pizza birthday cake, or I want to have a slice of pizza, or maybe 3 slices of pizza. It's okay. All right. Sometimes food is not always just fuel. Sometimes there's enjoyment that comes with food. There's a social component to food. There's cultural and religious components to food as well. So it's not this just hard and fast, this dogma. You have to eat this certain way. And when it doesn't fit into your lifestyle, you feel like a failure. So 80% is focused on your health, your fitness, your body goals. And then 20% enjoy yourself. Have a cookie. It's okay. See, it's to create a success plan. And I think that when you are starting a new fitness program or you're trying to ramp things up a notch, it's real easy to sit down and say, I'm going to lose 70 pounds in 3 months, and then feel like a failure because that was a completely unrealistic goal. It was a completely unrealistic plan. Okay. And when I talk about creating a success plan, success is the key word there. It's not about just creating a plan. It's about creating a plan that you can actually do, that it's going to be successful for you, that it's going to match the season of life that you're in. All right. If you're taking care of little kids and you're saying to yourself, I'm going to go to the gym for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, I call bullshit. You've got to understand the season of life that you're in and understand how to create that plan that's going to help you be successful. If your goal is to get into a workout routine, you want to work out 5 days a week, but you're taking care of kids, you're taking care of grandkids, what is that workout going to look like for you? Maybe it's taking your kids or your grandkids out on a walk with you for 30 minutes. Okay. So it's understanding the season of life that you're in and creating that plan that allows you to be successful and not feel like a failure because you created this unrealistic plan for yourself that you can't stick to. E is to embrace consistency and accountability. And this is where I like to talk about the long game here in a couple different components. The long game is this is something that you're doing for a lifestyle. This is not something that we're doing to lose weight for a vacation. This is not something that we're doing to get in shape, get your summer body, that kind of thing. This is the things that we're doing over the long haul to support a strong, healthy body for the decades to come. Okay, so that you can continue doing the things that you want to do, but then also embracing accountability. And what does that look like for you? It might be joining a community of other people who are on the same journey, who are on the same path. They might not have the same goals as you, but they're in the same long-term journey that you might be in. So you might join a community of people. You might find ways to hold yourself accountable by tracking your food in an app. You might find accountability by hiring a coach and having someone to hold you accountable to your goals. You might find accountability through journaling. There's a lot of different ways that you can hold yourself accountable for your goals. And it's figuring out what is that consistency, what is that system going to look like for you that's going to allow you to stay consistent and hold yourself accountable to those goals. Those are what I call the balance framework. Those are 7 different pillars of the boring basics. These are things that work well if you are consistent over a long period of time. There's a lot that goes into each one of these 7 different pillars. It's not intended to be overwhelming. What it is intended to be is this week, this is what I'm going to focus on. I'm really going to focus on trying to get to bed at the same time every night. And I'm going to call that a win. This week I'm going to focus in on getting half a gallon of water in every single day. I'm going to call that a win. Okay. This is not about trying to do all the things all at once. All right. And so this is the first video in a series of videos where we're going to go into each one of these 7 different pillars in more detail, talking about what some of these things might be, what some of these things might look like. These are going to look different for every single person. You've all got different experiences. You've got different lives. You've got different seasons of life. You're all in different places. This is the framework that's intended to be the guide to help you figure out, okay, what really matters. When we're talking about the boring basics here, what really matters, okay? There's a lot of stuff all over social media. There's a lot of things like, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? We just reel it back in, bring it back into the boring basics here in the balance framework. So if you like this video, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, send this to somebody who you think might find helpful, and stay tuned for the follow-up videos on the individual pillars of the balance framework.